Hey, welcome to Whitey's Wicked Workshop. Today I'm going to show you how I built this Millennium Falcon Cockpit. Let's check it out. Alright, so now I'm going to get into the process of putting a cover over this. Cleaned it off real good, and I started getting ready. I got this Wellwood contact cement. I swap over to barge later on, but I had some of this left over. And of course, once you open it, yeah, you need a tool to get it open. But I found it was getting easier to pour it out instead of just using the brush. But worked out good. Put that on. I'm not even going to show you the footage of me putting it on because it's bad. The first side was really bad, and the second one I had my wife come and help me. But that's the finished product there. So right here I'm just making a nice opening for where I put the little TV monitor. And I'm preparing to add the little viewfinder. So that was all contact cemented too. And to make it even nicer, I did put screws in it, so I had a nice mechanical fixture there. So there, it's starting to look like something. So then I start farting around with adding Greeblies, and it took a lot of time figuring out how I wanted it to look. And you'll see I have those things already made. I ended up not using them. I'm doing stuff by hand here, trying to figure out how big I want my panels to be, and I settled on this size right here. Eventually I did go to my computer and made the little program in laser burn, and I started marking out my templates like that. And this is actually one of the finished products that I'm showing you here before the painting. So I just sanding down all the edges and stuff, and then you have to use your heat gun to close all the pores, and then do it again until you're happy with it and don't get burnt. Oh, then I used Pasta Dip. I did one little coat. Then this is my lower layer before I put the sticker on. So whatever color you choose, I chose white. So on my Cricut, I made a little sticker that I'm going to actually paint over, and then I'll pull the sticker off and you'll see the white line underneath when it's all done. So it took a couple tries for me to get good at this part because I never used the Cricut before. So yeah, I learned to remove everything that I didn't need. Yeah, it's a waste of vinyl, but yeah, it's much easier to do then. Now you just paint over the vinyl with the final color that you're going to use. So, I don't know if you caught it there, I used my heat gun to hit it quickly. That allows it to come up pretty easy and less messy. So you can see I'm heating it up there just a little bit. So that way I can pull it off really easy. So that's pretty much the finished product before the clear coat. Off camera I did figure out how I wanted my buttons to look, and I ended up just cutting out which ones I wanted to use. Same thing with this guy. I cut out which holes that I wanted my rocker switches to be in. So here, sorry about the footage. I didn't have a real good footage. I did use that black stuff that Ada showed us originally, and it wasn't sticking flat to the surface, so I ended up using barge. Here I started playing around a lot with the lights. Did have 5mm lights at first, and I was not happy with them, so I actually changed to 10mm light. Oh yeah, I have a brand new Etsy store where I actually sell these rocker buttons. I have the link down in the description. Another thing I ran into is that my toggle switches wouldn't go through the foam and the wood. So I had to grab some steel. That was a old VCR cover. And I cut all my holes in. Cut the hole out here. It's my handy dandy oscillating tool, which I love. You'll see me using that a lot. So if you see, I used a very thin layer of EVA foam just to make it look a little bit nicer, but the steel is underneath that. I like the rubber covers over the switches too. I thought it'd make it look nicer.
If you want to see how I made the 1-inch acrylic tiles, click the link up here.
Why is it always fascinating when you could always look beyond something? I added these 4 little grates, or grills, or vents. I think it made a nice touch. Here I am marking the shifter EVA foam before using barge. I don't want to make a mess. I learned my lesson when I was putting the black cover over the cockpit. Believe me. Just be careful, be patient. Push it down nice. Let it dry good. Like I said before, I ended up using 10mm LEDs. Most of them are powered all the time, and I did about 16 or so where I used the Arduino. I beveled it out to try and get a little bit more look to the buttons. Here's the LEDs I used, and I soldered them together. I plan on putting out a soldering video for you guys that don't know too much about it, just to make it simple. I found out that I was soldering wrong all these years, so I want to show you what I found, which works best. Hot glue in the lights, man, it's like the depths of hell, lava, hot glue. Oh, I burned myself bad. I was holding something and it landed at the top of my finger. I ended up getting a 3rd-degree burn, so I dealt with that for a little while. Here's an electrical part that I'm kind of blabbing over, but I will go into depth more in another video where I show you everything that I do. Right here, you know, the buttons, you always buy them and they're made for just a regular LED to put in there with little plugs, but I hot glue them in place so that way if people were to push on them they wouldn't fall through.
I'd like to take this time to thank all my Patreon members. I love you.
I knew that I was going to be using these on the toggle switches, so I thought it'd be easier. So I put those ends on them. Be careful and check your switches. I had to redo all my wiring because I found out some of them were wrong. So I would turn one off and it would kill the power to everything else. It's just, you'll find out. I found these little clips and I decided to use it to hold down my toggle switches. You know, so they're not flopping around. Who wants to use a toggle switch that's going to flip out and fall on the floor? Here's a cool little weather seal that I found. It came in handy with a bunch of my build here. It comes stuck together like in a dual thing. I thought it looked nice on the sides. And I ripped the one apart and I put it on the viewfinder and I thought it was a very nice finishing touch. Now I won't bang my head off of it like I normally do. Here's my little 7-inch display. It's a Amazon Fire Pad. I think it looks great, especially with the tactical HUD there. Compliments of Jamie Dole. Outer rim. Oh yeah. I thought I was done. Took it over in the theater room, installed it, and found out that I was getting all the glare from all the lights on the TV. So I had to install this little cover over top. Now it's time to go to the center console. Figure this guy out. There's a lot that I changed, a lot that I did, a lot that I didn't do. But I just kind of went with it. This idea from like a gas can or they always have like a metal thing kind of sticking out, so it's a little bit more rugged. I was kind of just going with the flow. Cut some dowels up. Yeah, it was never right, but I was gonna try and paint it like that somehow, but then once I started putting the cover over it... Oh, I gotta talk about this. These are some cool things that I got with my 82-inch TV. It held the cardboard to the foam. So I really liked them and I kept them. And I'm glad I did, because I got to use them on the side covers. I plan on doing something like maybe adding a battery or something into the center console part. Maybe more lights. I thought this was cool. You could see my burn mark on my finger on that picture. There's me using my tool again. I love that tool. So this is what I mean about having a side access panel. So I can remove that whenever I want and get inside. Now I'm using barge. I had the wife help me out with this again. A lot of it I did staple. So I barged it and then stapled, and then I made little covers to cover over the staples. So I really got into it, but it was kind of fun. This material is actually cobalt tool chest drawer liners. I have the link down below. But it worked out good. This seemed to be a lot sturdier than the Craftsman tool drawer liners. So now it's time to add the cool Greeblies. I think I got this Greebly from the father-in-law when he gave me all the radio equipment and oscilloscopes. I thought it was perfect for here. This is compliments of Ben Gatto. That was a broken display. So here I'm stapling everything. And then to cover up the staples, I super glued these. These were, I 3D printed them. I used a little bit of EVA foam to hold that light in place, direct center. And then I cut into this nice little cable so I could add a switch. Yay! I got these cool little light assemblies from the Dollar Tree. They're $1 a piece, 10 lights, 10 LED lights on them. I have to buy a bunch of them next time I see them, but they had all different kinds of colors, and look at how good they look here. I've just put my pinstriping. This one's by hand, no spray paint involved, but I thought it came out good. After I saw how good this came out, kind of wish I would have did my whole cockpit with pinstriping. It was fun. Hot glue everything, baby. That's an old set of speakers from the ripped apart TV that I got. Thought it looked cool there, one on each side. Found a cool heat sink that went over that button really well. It was like perfect. Other Greeblies. Another thing of rocker switches. Put some more Greeblies in the back, just parts stuck together. That's a filter from somewhere. Little bit of an Easter egg. if you watch later on in this video, you'll see that this one's flopping around. It fell off. I don't know if I walked into it or what. I made those cool little containers there, painted them up, made them look dirty, and put little pieces of electronic equipment inside. Just something about seeing something behind something that is visually appealing. Here we go. This is the last touch that I did, and I think this is when I screwed up my wiring, I later find out. You might catch it in the video where I'm playing with this, where the white lights are kind of flickering. Yeah, I need to rip that back apart. I think I might have pinched the wires. Find out what I do next. Peace. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Later. I'll see you next time on Whitey's Wicked Workshop. Peace. Keep an eye out for part 3. Maybe I'll make another one. I would like to do something with these chairs. Maybe put something over the bottom part of it. I'd like to put some Greeblies on the chairs. Maybe some lights or something like that. I just take a little nap.